Guess I'm getting ready for Vrindavan, looking a bit more funky. On Wednesday morning, it's Radhastami, so I'll give a special Radhastami class. Okay, we're going to start from Book 1, Chapter 7, Text 106. We may have done these, but we always go a little back. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Aho bhāmini jānīhi tantad mama mahā-sukham mahimāpi samam hitvā tasthau tatrocitāspade. Ah, willful woman, please understand all that I relished in Vraja gave me the highest pleasure. And though the glory of those times has now abandoned me, it still resides in that most worthy place. Purport: by saying this, Krishna admits that he's not happy in Dwarka as he was in Vrindavan. He cannot feel fully satisfied when separated from the gopis. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Taksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishnam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, again, this group has been together. I don't really have to go back, other than say the theme is the end of the topmost devotion, or the person who has received the greatest mercy, and in line with Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and in line with the Bhagavatam, this points to the gopis and Sri Radha. And this has been pointed out in this narrative of Narada searching for the topmost recipient of Krishna's mercy. So you get this kind of comparative religious text as he goes through, well, at least comparative bhakti text, the different levels of bhakti, the different depths of bhakti, the different levels of freedom, where in that love, it's not composed of obligation and fear, and somehow or other, that's appropriate in respect. It's part of the composition of love. And it would be inappropriate for those type of people to let go of those restraints, because it would dampen their ras. But there is some that constitutionally don't have that restraint, And that love is considered more forceful, and that's Vraja Bhakti. So it's pointing to Vraja Bhakti. And this wonderful analysis from different perspectives of exactly what bhakti is, the core of bhakti, seva, the mood of loving responsiveness to God, that feeling of responding to our relationship with God for God's pleasure through either the mind, body, or words, ihayasya dasye karmana manasagira Nicholas tu avaptasu jivan mukta su uchite. Ihayasya harer bhakti. Karmana, work, manasa, mind, gira, words. Ihayasya harer, the servant of Krishna. He tries anukulyena Krishnanu. He tries to search out and embrace the agency of God's will and desire in love. And somehow this brought us to Dwarka. We're in that drama. We're of the part, and I don't have to repeat, I think, all that went on in Nava Vrindavan and what happened in Dwarka and how everything was pointing to that love in various ways from various personalities. And now it comes to Krishna, who's upset with Satyabhama for not recognizing that love. As we remember, the queen saw Krishna's love for the gopis in Nava Vrindavan. And when Krishna came back from Nava Vrindavan, revived from his mrita, near-death experience of separation, the queens of Dwarka weren't envious except for Satyabhama, who again has another flavor of love that includes a certain obstinance or contrary romantic expression in that relationship, which Krishna also enjoys. But now he's upset with her because when he comes back to the palace, where is Satyabhama? Where is Satyabhama? And Uddhava explains that she's not here, and Krishna becomes really upset because it's all a whole emotional thing with Krishna. He's already laying in bed in Dwarka in separation. Then he goes outside. They're arguing about whether the residents of Vrindavan are recipients of mercy, accepting the fact that they're tortured in separation, and him himself kind of being brought to the forefront, their suffering. He himself faints and then is revived in Nava Vrindavan. So it's really on Krishna's mind, that love of the love of the residents of Vrindavan. It's really on his mind. And God doesn't have the defect of impersonality, which means he also gets to relish a variety of emotions. As mentioned by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's Mugdata and he's Sarvagya. He's all-knowing. He's also forgetful. For the purpose of drama and emotion, God must be that being of which no greater can be conceived. I remember that. I remember that definition. In my Philosophy 101 class. And in my other class, I made the joke, but I'm serious. That's why Krishna has to have a peacock feather. Because if you present any other conception of God, I can conceive of something greater. God with a peacock feather. Not just with a peacock feather, but Akila Rasamrita Murti, the full embodiment of love. So he's also within the drama, and his Leela Shakti, his potencies, take over. As you remember, when we are discussing God, we cannot limit what he can do. He can be filled with contradictions. Tadejati, tadnaijati, tadure, tadvantike, tarantarasya sarvasya, tarusarvasya bhayataha. Walks, doesn't walk, near, far, inside, out. Where there is no circumference, I think in German, maybe Hegel said that, the center is everywhere. Is he in this pillar, that father of son? Is he in this pillar, Hiranyakashipu? Yes. He's everywhere, and he manifests according to the devotee's love. Because he's not bound by time and space. We can't quantify God's existence in time and space. It's another dimension. And therefore, in relationship to the Ekpad Vibhuti, the 1/4 of God's energies, the material realm, he can interchange with it anywhere. Just like the sun, it can be on everybody's head in different places at once. So he's upset. And it's, again, everything's born out of ecstatic love. These are not material, these are not found, these are a concept, this is not founded on a material sense. And he starts to blast Satyabhama that whatever they ask, I will do. Whatever they ask, I will do. And Lord Brahma was right, that there's no way I can ever repay them. And even if I returned, it wouldn't help, because seeing me dazed, they won't be functional. And that separation is so intense, it leaves them as near dead. And even if I come back, because they had such a traumatic experience, that they will think, one second. They will think I will leave again. If they see me, they think I will leave again. And they won't be seeing me in full consciousness. They won't be seeing me with their buddhi or intelligence. They'll not only be seeing me in an emotional state, but a half-conscious state where in a daze, the intelligence is not even working. The intelligence will have no choice to see, oh, Krishna is here, I'm so happy. No, they'll say, oh, he's here, he'll leave again, and that thought will bring them. And they even see a patch of darkness, they embrace me. So staying would be equal to my absence. That's the degree of their emotion. And you know why I married you? I'll tell you why I married you. First, Rukmini, it was out of compassion. She was going to commit suicide. And then she reminded me of the gopis, and then I married 16,108 queens. They were actually, Krishna doesn't say, they were expansions of the gopis, but just to remind me. And now he gets so heavy. Oh, willful woman. We looked that up before, but it's a highly derogative term. Highly derogative. I'll just, willful. Immoral, willful, wanting to do wrong, stubborn, want to do what you want, regardless, pettish. It's not, so he's really upset. Oh, willful woman, please understand all of this mahā-sukham, mahimā, the greatness of that place. It's my highest pleasure. And that mahimā, now hitvā, has abandoned me. But it abandoned me, but it still stays as the place which is tatrocitāspade, the location that is suitable, that suits me. This is my place. I wrote one article once, the 4 pillars of stable life, your spiritual life, what's your lineage, your guru, your teachers. So to find that's one set. So what is my occupation? That's one other thing. That a proper society provides these automatically. The fakakta society we have today, practically none of them are supplied. It's automatic. Who you're going to marry, and what your occupation is, and the place. This is my place. Some people decide, this is my place. This is where I belong. This is my place. And chitra ati chitrai, charming, extremely charming, more charming. When submerged in the patitaranga, the waves of the ocean of Anand, when submerged in the ocean, the waves of the ocean of smugness submerged, then it's chitra ati chitra, it's charming and more charming. And I was so attracted to each of those all enchanting residents. The maha-mohan loka. Loka means residence. The maha-mohan, the greatest alluring residents. To each of them, I was so attracted that the agashisam, I was not aware, ratri, the nights, dinani, the days, I wasn't aware of the days, I wasn't aware of the nights. One away, balya krida kutu kenaivate te daitya shrishta marita kaliya pi kaliopi jushto nirdam yasho nisarito sao panau savye dhari govardhana sa. As the simple delight of my childhood sports, I killed various imminent demons. I quickly subdued the evil Kaliya and sent him into exile. In my left hand, I held. It was not a problem. You heard I killed demons, but it was Balya Krita. That was my sport there. I'm remembering my youth so nicely. That was my sport. Kotakena. It was the enjoyment of my sport, and therefore I killed various demons. The Daitya Shrestha, the most best demons, I killed. Nirdamya, Kali, I subdued. And I lifted Govardhan Hill. It was easy for me, not at all. Child's play. 109. Tadik Santosh Shar Naveham Namagno Yena Stotram Kurvatam Vandanam Cha Brahmadinam Bhashane Darshane Cha Manvanoham Vyasmaran Deva Krityam. I was so absorbed in that ocean of contentment, so absorbed in the Santosh Arnave in the ocean, Santosh Arnave, in the ocean of contentment. Enough, I have it, I'm here, this is my place. I was so absorbed that having to talk to the demigods of Brahma and watch them offering me prayers and homage. Manvana Agam, I considered that a painful disturbance. I forgot my Deva Krityam, my work for the Devas. Satyabhama, that's why I love Braj. That's why I love the Mohana Loka, all the chanting residents. Rupena Visheshana Ravamtena Vamsyas Chapurvanutena Vivishvam Samohitam Prema Parena Kritsnam Tishtantu Dure Vrajavasinaste. My beautiful form, my dress, and the nectarian sound of my flute, never heard before, enchanted the whole universe with overwhelming love of Godhead. So what to speak of how these affected the residents of Vrindavan? The whole universe was enchanted. Prema, Bharena, was overwhelmed with love of Godhead. But what to speak of the Vrajavasina, of the Brajvasis? Purport. Krishna's beauty never diminishes, even when he leaves Vrindavan to reside elsewhere for more than 100 years. Only in nostalgic retrospect does Krishna think he was more beautiful during his youth. But because of Vrindavan's special sweet mood created by the spontaneous attraction between Krishna and his devotees, there and nowhere else, Krishna feels free to add certain items to his appearance. Like the peacock feather in his hair, and only in Vrindavan does Krishna play the flute. Thus enhanced, Krishna's natural charm allures the mind. Natural charm allures the entire world, creating a transcendental taste that defeats all kinds of material enjoyment and is millions of times more relishable than the impersonal happiness called Brahmananda. Everyone in the universe can taste this highest bliss of Vrindavan by hearing about it from scriptures like Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, as presented by pure devotees. Thus, the supreme bliss of Krishna consciousness is available anywhere. Still, those who can live directly with Krishna in Vrindavan and relish his association, not only with their ears, but with all the senses, are certainly most fortunate. Learned scholars of the Vedas therefore conclude that the greatest perfection of life is to follow successfully in the footsteps of the Vrajavasis, and in course of time be invited to take up residence in the Vrajavasis' eternal abode. Brahma, Rudra, Indra, Chandra, the Siddhas, and other demigods moving in the sky were overcome by changes aroused in them in the current of ecstatic love. So too the cows, bulls, calves, and wild beasts, the trees, birds, bushes, creepers, and grass. The rivers were overcome, and the clouds and all other beings, both moving and non-moving, alive and inert. Each of them underwent a transformation by which their own nature changed in just the opposite. Purport. So it's just describing to Satyabhama, this was the place. This is my place. And these Maha, Mohana, Loka, these all, each of them, so enchanting these people. Purport, from the demigods to the blade of grass. Every living being present in Vrindavan to see Krishna's pastimes became ecstatically transformed. Even non-living objects gained consciousness and underwent these effects of prema bhakti. In the sky above Vrindavan, celestial persons often watched what was going on, including not only the chief demigods, but also sages, Gandharvas, and Vidyaras. They and the residents of Vrajadam were so powerfully affected by the constant flood of prema that their natures changed. Those who were accustomed to staying in heaven were attracted to coming down to earth. Brahma and the other prominent demigods, the wisest and most respected of all elves of knowledge, lost their power of discrimination and became like simple fools. And the cows and other animals who normally roam the fields seemed to achieve samadhi, the culmination of mystic knowledge. Those animals stood like immobile plants, where the actual plants, the trees, bushes, and creepers, became like animals trembling and moving about. The lifeless rivers and lakes became as if alive, overflowing with ecstasy. They sometimes stopped their currents completely and sometimes flowed wildly. And in the sky, the wind-blown clouds became fixed in one place, assuming the roles of umbrellas, shading Krishna and his devotees from the sun. These wonders are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. And there's a verse. You can ask Kalindi whether or not this is true. She witnessed the blissful pastimes freely enjoyed by the people of Vrindavan. So Kalindi is the Jamuna manifest there. But I cannot arouse the same emotions now in my relatives, the Yadavas, either with joking or with entertaining pastimes. So I can be intimate with them, but it's not Ragatmika Bhakti. It's not Vraja Bhakti. It's not that level of force, of spontaneity and intimacy. Here in Dwarka, I found it difficult to break the jealous pride of queens like you. Embarrassed, I have therefore put aside my dear flute. Purport, Krishna's queens behave jealously but they never become inimical to him in any way or oppose the fulfillment of any of his desires. Therefore, it is not only difficult for Krishna to control his pride, therefore, it is not actually difficult for Krishna to control their pride, which is meant only to please him. Nonetheless, Krishna cannot take the same liberties in Dwarka as Vrindavan. He says in Dwarka he feels ashamed to play his flute, is concerned that people will laugh at him. Perhaps closer to the truth, in Dwarka he no longer feels the inspiration to create exquisite music that he produced in Vrindavan. How much the Lord's glories are manifest varies according to the environment he's in. Alas, what I did and how I lived in Braj seems so far away that with you I cannot even speak of these things. Purport: since Krishna is all-powerful and his omnipotence is never diminished in any circumstance, he should be able to take any appearance and acts as he likes in Dwarka or anywhere. He should be able to make his life in Dwarka just as it is in Vrindavan. But Krishna's desires change according to the atmosphere in which he lives. And I'll add, the atmosphere in which he lives is reciprocation to various desires he has. Outside of Vraj, he simply feels less inspired to express his sentiments freely. In this verse, therefore, Krishna utters the word aho bhata, indicating great disappointment. In Dwarka, he cannot perform the same delightful pastimes of his childhood or surround himself with his beloved gopis and other Vrajvasis. The Dwarka environment is so foreign to the intimate mood of Braj that he cannot even discuss with his Dwarka associates his earlier days in any but the most vague terms. If we were to speak of these matters with the Dwarka-vasis too explicitly, the Dwarka-vasis would be lost in trance and unable to continue their service. Just one person, we'll do one more verse today, because I'm actually going into the city. Adi Purush, he evidently has a beautiful yoga studio, and they're very excited. I'm excited to come. If any of you in the area, we're going to have a great program. There'll be the wonderful Jersey Prasad being imported, the unparalleled New Jersey Prasad imported. We'll have kirtans. I think this lady Maya is coming. She is phenomenal. Phenomenal. As good as anyone. She's just only been a devotee for 1 year, but she's amazing. And I'm preparing my Krishna-katha. So I'll have to pack because I'm going to leave for 2 weeks. And then when I return, which should be a Saturday night on the 21st, after Vyas Puja, not my Vyas Puja, but Vyasa Puja. I will worship Vyas, and my disciples show them how to worship Vyas. Then, one day Sunday, and then Monday I'm off. So I have to do a few things around here, because I only have a few hours before, maybe 2.5 hours before Tota picks me up. So one more verse. Ekasame tad vrajalokavat, ekasame tad vrajalokavat priyas, Tadrin mahā-prema Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta Vakshyat yada kinchana badarayanir majjivate shishya Hare Sasanivi. Just one person, almost as dear to me as devotees of Vraj, will be able to describe these topics. Sukadev, the son of Badarayan Vyas. By the power of his great love and the mood of the Vrajvasis, he will speak something about those matters to his excellent disciple who resembles him in spiritual qualities and whom I once brought back to life. So Krishna is describing This is going to be described by Sukadev. He's almost as dear as the devotees of Braj. What a position, huh? Bhadarayana, Vraja Lokavat, Vraja Lokavat, like the devotees of Vraja, only he, Sa, Bhadarayani, the son of Bhadarayan Vyas, Sukadev, only he. With his mahā-prem bara, with his excess of prem by the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, the power of the excess, then Vaksha, he will speak, kinchin, something. To who? By Shishya Vare, the excellent disciple, who mat jivate, who I brought to life, Maharaj Cricket. Only this. Okay, last purport for today. If no one ever hears Krishna's pastime, Vrindavan pastimes described, how will Krishna fulfill the main purpose of his descent? To spread throughout the world the transcendental taste of Vraja Prema Ras. Anticipating this question, Krishna answered is here. The glories of Prema Ras of Sri Vrajadam will be revealed when Shukadev Goswami recites Srimad-bhāgavatāmṛta to Maharaj Pritchett. Because Shukadev's own devotional realizations closely follow the elevated mood of the Vrajvasis, he has the power to convey the glories of Vraja in the ecstatic Bhagavatam poetry emanating from his lips. Even the brief glimpse of the infinite ocean of Krishna Bhakti Ras that Shukadev will reveal in the Bhagavatam will be enough to impart to any human being who hears with the honest intent the highest taste of pure devotion. That should fire us up to read the Bhagavatam. Even a brief glimpse that Sukadev will reveal in the Bhagavatam, a brief glimpse will be enough to impart to any living entity who hears honestly the highest taste of pure devotion. This is our only hope. Sukadev will speak Srimad Bhagavatam to the most suitable hearer, the great Vaishnava Parikshit, whom Krishna returned to life when Parikshit was in the womb of his mother. According to the narration of the Mahabharata, the Brahmastra weapon of Ashvatthama actually killed Uttara's fetus, but Krishna entered Uttara's womb and gave Parikshit a new body, and Parikshit became Krishna Jivata, not only in the sense that Krishna restored him to life, but also because every moment of life was dedicated to remembering Krishna. He was a perfect Vaishnav, like his guru Shukadev, and therefore Shukadev could speak to him the most confidential secrets. By the combined effort of the most qualified speaker and the most qualified hearer, Srimad Bhagavatam can distribute its sublime light even in this age. Yeah, okay. Anybody else like Jamuna Jaya, share something, please.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for class. Let me just say, Adi Purusha is so excited that you're coming. He called me twice last night within an hour.
Tone him down a bit. Tone him down a bit. Because I don't want what Adi can do for a greeting. I can tell you that right now.
We've already, there's been a message been sent, but to not do that.
Tone him down.
Yeah, okay. He's very excited. But
okay, Haribo.
I just loved hearing that last point. I'd never heard that before, that Parikshit actually died in the womb.
I never heard that before. I read it for the first time.
That's such great new information. Krishna gave him a new body so that he was able to receive it. I love that point so much. I'd never heard that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Lakshmi, any reflections? Nice to see you.
Likewise, Maharaj. Oh my God, it was just, it was a tsunami of Ross there. I mean, it's just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I kept thinking of tsunami, waterfall, the constant flow, the monsoon cloud, the rain of mercy. It was really exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you so much.
I got to ran out of gas halfway because I'm leaving today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't like to read too much. I usually like, go ahead. What's up? Any reflections?
Uh, no, I was just relishing everything that you said. One thing I really liked also was the mood. I don't know if I got this correctly, but the specific mood that Krishna was expressing about Vrindavan was spontaneity and intimacy. That mood, he said, there is no other place to.
Yeah, and Prabhupada, he once described it as more freedom, but you don't want to diminish the other relationships which have restraint because the restraint is part of the love. Like for a father, the restraint of the son is part of the love. It's not
Right,
I want to be spontaneous and I'll tell you whatever I want.
right,
It's
right.
part of the love, but it's not as forceful constitutionally. But we can't really even quantify it. It's kind of perfect, more perfect, most perfect, and that doesn't even quantify. That doesn't even make sense in our world.
Yeah. Yeah, and I totally get that point that the specific mood of each ras is particular to that loving exchange, and it in and of itself it's perfect and complete. And I totally understand that, but everyone's looking for freedom, and when you meditate on the fact that this is God with his hair down, in Vrindavan, his hair down, he whips out his flute and enchants every single living entity, even the branches erupt in ecstasy with the buds that are coming up. Every aspect of what's going on here in Braj Ras is just totally free from any restrictions, and of course artificially you can't be there, but it is something to aspire for. And even if the perfection and the completion in the other rases are totally satisfying to those that are experiencing
Yeah,
it, it's
yeah. I give the example. It's like a mother loves her child, and she appreciates if the son or the daughter has a great spouse and an intense romantic relationship, and she may even understand by her own if she had a good romantic relationship that has a flavor of intensity that's even better than, but she never thinks I want to be that. It's
right.
completely overwhelming and satisfying. Okay, Lakshmi, great to see you. Before I go to India, I should give you a call. We should just catch up.
Please do, Maharaj. I would appreciate it.
Thank you.
Haribol.
Okay, Gail, any questions, Gail?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yeah, I just find it interesting that, um, we hear this story about Rukmini fainting because just when Krishna jokes, I think he jokes about leaving or something, right?
Yeah.
And that makes her faint. But even though, the thought of such separation would make her faint, still we understand, right, that the separation that the queens can feel for Krishna could never even approach the separation that the gopis feel, isn't it, right? Because their love doesn't approach to that same extent.
My hearing aid started.
No, I was saying that because even though people like Rukmini would faint just at the thought of separation from Krishna, still their separation could never be to the extent of that of the gopis, right? Because the love isn't to the same extent.
Somehow or other, no, but it's all perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's perfect. And, just this is just a comment, Maharaj, because I know there's nothing more that you can add to my constant, lamentation about Krishna's chastisement of Satyabhama. But, it continues to bewilder me that he could say something, as you said yourself, is so highly derogatory towards Satyabhama. Yet, expressing such derogatory things, still simultaneously feel the love.
You want me to give you a mundane example?
Okay.
It's just like that cartoon. Somehow my hearing aids are not working. It's just like that cartoon where they have the picture of LA, I told you, right? And the guy's smiling and saying, "Have a nice day."
Yeah.
And in his mind, you can see he says, "Go to hell." And then there's another picture of New York where the guy says, "Go to hell." And in the mind, it says, "Have a nice day."
Yeah.
Sometimes that kind of joking and heaviness and things like that is a sign of love. Even, in Vaitacharya, when Lord Chaitanya, he was so frustrated because Lord Chaitanya was reverent to him. I forgot, he preached something that got Lord Chaitanya kicked him. He was so happy, because it showed his love. So there is that element there. Okay, Gail, we'll see you this afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Tota Gopinath here. Great to hear from you.
Okay, see if you can be here 15 minutes early just to help me get out, if possible.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna,
Maharaj. I'm Vraja. Hare Krishna.
Thanks for class.
I gave that plug for the Jersey Prasad.
I've been cooking all morning.
What?
I've been cooking all morning.
I know that. I know how hard you work to make these functions a success. But it's kind of like, when you know something is coming from someplace, it's like it's kind of like great or something like that. So right now the Jersey Prasad got that reputation. Yudhisthira, my friend, Haribol.
Maharaj. So have you heard that Yogamaya in Vrindavan is not in Vrindavan?
I've been constantly in contact with her.
Good. I feel helpless because what can I do other than...
I'm trying everything I can.
Thank you.
But if plan A doesn't work, we'll have plan B.
That's reassuring to me. I didn't know you were involved. Thank you.
No, we'll have some kind of plan B. There are some other people maybe, but I'm seeing her last ditch effort to get in. I'll find out soon.
Yeah, it's quite an adventure.
Okay, Haribol.
See you soon in Vrindavan.
Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. This is Krishna-katha. Thank you so much for the class. Thank you greatly.
Okay, I'm looking down the list of the people that...
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you so much for class.
Haribol, you didn't get a chance to speak to that lady yet, have you?
Yes, we've been exchanging WhatsApp messages.
Okay, she's very nice.
Yes, she seems so nice.
Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Anybody else say hello? And then we go. Okay.
Haribol, Maharaj, good morning. Thank you so much for class.
Abby, great. Great that you could come. I hope you're well. I heard you were sick, so I hope you get better.
Getting better, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Okay, Haribol. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vichapatitanam Bhavani.